everyone, and welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today we are diving headfirst into a case that has really captured the attention of, well, just about everyone online.
Oh, yeah.
The disappearance of Maura Murray.
It's everywhere.
It is. And we're going to be looking at, you sent in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Articles, podcasts, websites, all this stuff. We're going to be looking through this stuff, kind of picking it apart and seeing, really, what is it about this case that's captivated so many people for so long?
I think one of the most fascinating parts of this is that the smallest details, a weird email or a road trip that doesn't quite make sense, that those little things end up having huge potential implications in a case like this.
Yeah. It's almost like everything that she did in the days and weeks before she disappeared is being scrutinized. You know what I mean? And people are trying to find clues.
Yeah.
So it all starts February 9th, 2004. Maura is a 21-year-old nursing student at UMass Amherst. She emails her professors and her work and says she has a family emergency.
And that's the first big question mark, right? There's no family emergency. It was totally made up. And you have to wonder, was she running from something? Was she trying to throw people off her trail? It's suspicious from the get-go.
Right. It's like she was creating a smokescreen. And so later that same day, she packs her car.
Oh, wow.
Packs a bag, clothes, toiletries, textbooks. Like, she's going on a longer trip.
Yeah.
And then heads north towards New Hampshire. And then there's ATM footage of her withdrawing $280.
Oh, wow.
Buying some alcohol at a liquor store. And that's it. Those are the last confirmed sightings of Maura Murray.
It's like she just disappeared into thin air.
And so it's about 7:30 p.m., cold, dark February in New Hampshire. Maura's car skids off the road near Haverhill, New Hampshire. A passerby spots the accident. They stop to offer help, but Maura refuses.
Oh, wow.
Tells them she's called roadside assistance. But here's the thing. Phone records later prove that she never made that call.
So then why lie about something like that? Was she disoriented from the accident, or was she really trying to avoid contact with authorities? You have to wonder. It's just so strange.
It's bizarre. And then 10 minutes later, the police arrive, and poof, she's gone.
Wow.
Car's locked, airbags deployed, open bottle of alcohol inside.
Oh, wow.
But no Maura. Absolutely no trace of her. And it's like a puzzle with pieces that just don't quite fit.
Yeah.
No sign of a struggle, no indication of where she might have gone. There's just nothing. And so you have to wonder, did she leave voluntarily or was she taken? It's eerie.
Yeah.
And so the thing about this is, it's not just this one night that's weird. Her behavior in the weeks leading up to her disappearance suggests that there was a lot more going on.
Really?
So just a few days before she vanished, she was involved in a car accident with her dad's car.
Oh, my gosh.
And the details surrounding that accident are a little murky. It does suggest that there was some, possibly a lot of stress or pressure in her life at that time.
Yeah.
We don't know if it was personal or school or what.
Yeah.
But then just days later, there's that phone call she received at work that left her reportedly in tears.
Oh.
To this day, no one knows who was on the other end of that line or what was even said.
Wow.
So that's another just really strange piece to this whole thing.
Totally.
And then just hours before she disappears, she sends an email to her boyfriend. It's very short, but it really does say a lot. She says, quote, "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking to much of anyone. I promised to call today, though. Love you, Maura." End quote. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like a goodbye.
Yeah, it is.
Even though it wasn't meant to be, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It definitely suggests that she was, maybe feeling overwhelmed or isolated or who knows.
Yeah, totally. You have to wonder if there was just something that she wasn't sharing with anyone, right?
Right. There's something more to this. It's so many questions and so few answers. It's no wonder this case has spawned so many theories, each one trying to, make sense of this.
And that's where we're headed next. We're going to be diving into the most common theories surrounding Maura Murray's disappearance. But I want to hear from you. What have you noticed that we haven't mentioned yet? What's caught your attention?
Okay, so we've kind of laid the foundation here, the disappearance, the strange behavior leading up to it. And now we're going to get into the theories.
Okay.
And you sent over some material that focuses on four main ones: foul play, voluntary disappearance, accidental death, and a secret meeting gone wrong.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Yeah, it's those are the big ones.
Let's start with foul play. It's, a young woman vanishes. It's a remote area. It's a dark winter night. You have to at least consider it.
Right, and especially that detail about her lying about calling for roadside assistance.
Yeah.
it makes you wonder if she was afraid of someone, like she was trying to avoid like a bad situation. But then why is there no sign of a struggle?
Right. I mean, if someone took her, shouldn't there be something,
Yeah.
some kind of evidence at the scene?
You'd think, right, but there's not. So while it's possible, it's really hard to, prove.
Yeah.
So what about voluntary disappearance? Could she have just decided to walk away and start a new life somewhere else?
I mean, it happens.
Right.
People do it. We know she was dealing with some stress. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that was enough for her to just say, I'm out.
Yeah, and the fact that she packed her car, it's like she was going somewhere.
Right. It kind of supports that, right?
But if that's the case, why hasn't she contacted anyone? In all these years,
Yeah.
you'd think she would reached out to family or someone.
Yeah. But we don't know the whole story.
Right.
Or that there might be things about her life, that we're just not aware of.
Right, yeah.
I mean, secrets, fears, motivations that could explain her actions.
Yeah.
It's possible she just had to cut off all ties.
It's sad to think about, but I guess it's possible. Okay, accidental death. I mean, given the location and the weather, it's easy to imagine that she could have just wandered off after the accident, gotten lost.
Yeah.
And maybe died from exposure.
Especially in February in New Hampshire.
Right. I mean, it's not exactly balmy.
No.
But wouldn't they have found something by now?
You'd think, right. But, I mean, they've done a lot of searches over the years, and that area is really dense.
Okay.
Woods, tough terrain. It's possible they missed something, or, nature's had time to cover things up.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, this last one, this is the one that kind of feels, a little out there.
Yeah.
Secret meeting gone wrong.
Definitely more, like, hypothetical than the others, but, well, there are some things about it.
Like what?
Like, there were some people who said they saw a man near her car around the time she disappeared.
Oh, really?
So maybe she was meeting someone,
Okay.
someone she knew or met online, and something happened.
So you're thinking an argument or worse?
It could explain why there wasn't a struggle. If she
Right.
went willingly, with someone, it wouldn't necessarily look like an abduction.
But we don't know who this man was or if he was even connected to her at all.
Right. It's a lot of ifs.
Right. So 4 theories,
4 theories.
each one with its own, pros and cons.
Right. And none of them are perfect. It's a tough one.
It really is. But you sent over this podcast episode with a forensic psychologist, Dr. Expert Name, and they specialize in missing persons cases.
Oh, yeah. I love their work.
So I'm really curious to hear what they have to say about all of this.
Yeah, well, they bring up a really important point about, the lack of a crime scene.
Yeah.
It makes it so hard for investigators to figure out where to even start.
Right. Like they're basically working in the dark.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, and this is interesting. They make a point of saying that just because Maura was under stress doesn't mean that she was suicidal or that she meant to disappear.
That's a good point.
Yeah, people react to stress differently.
Yeah.
And we can't just assume we know what was going on in her head.
Right. We're talking about a real person here, and we can't just, put her in a box. And then Dr. Expert Name talks about something that's become a big part of this case.
What's that?
Internet sleuths.
Oh, yeah, the online detectives?
Right. I mean, it's amazing how much attention this case has gotten online. You've got people from all over the world looking at every little detail, trying to find the answers.
It really is like a giant crowdsourced investigation.
It is. And Dr. Expert Name says that, there are some good things about that. Like
Yeah.
sometimes these folks, they can actually find things the police miss, They bring a fresh set of eyes. But there's a downside too, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the internet's a breeding ground for misinformation.
Right.
So, Dr. Expert Name says these internet sleuths, they can get fixated on a theory and present it as fact, even if they don't have the evidence to back it up.
Right.
And that just makes things more confusing.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You got all these people that want to help, but they can also, accidentally mess things up.
Yeah. And it's hard to find that balance. But
Yeah.
Dr. Expert Name, they actually offer like a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
They talk about all the advancements that have been made in DNA and digital forensics.
Oh, yeah.
So, what might have been impossible to analyze 20 years ago could actually hold the key to solving this case.
So there's still a chance that new evidence could emerge.
There's a chance.
Wow.
And Dr. Expert Name is actually like cautiously optimistic
Mm-hmm.
that maybe we can have a breakthrough sometime soon. Wouldn't that be something?
It would be amazing. I don't know about you, but this whole case just really sticks with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about the facts, we've looked at the theories, we've even heard from a real expert, and yet it's still a mystery. We still don't know what happened to her.
I think that's what makes it so captivating.
Yeah.
You think that with everyone online, with everyone looking at this case, that we would have figured it out by now.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's still out there. We don't know.
It's like the more we learn, the less we actually know.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels that way.
So where do we go from here? Is this it? Do we just, have to accept that we'll never know what happened?
I don't think so. I mean, even cold cases, cases that have been unsolved for years and years, sometimes they get solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, new evidence can turn up, a witness can come forward after all this time.
Right.
And like we talked about, technology is getting better all the time. So who knows? Maybe something will come up that helps us figure this out.
It's like there's still hope.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
And, until then, I think we just have to keep looking at it, keep talking about it, keep asking questions.
Right.
The more we do that, the better the chances that, that someone will remember something or maybe put the pieces together in a way that no one's thought of before.
It's like we're all working on this giant puzzle together.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And maybe, just maybe, someone listening right now has, that one missing piece that'll make everything clear.
That's a really good point. So to everyone listening, you've heard the facts, you've heard the theories, you know what the experts think. What do you think happened to Maura Murray?
What makes the most sense to you? What details have stood out? What do you think is the key to solving this mystery?
Keep those questions in mind as you continue to explore the case. Do your own research, read about it, talk about it, and trust your gut.
You never know. You might be the one to finally figure out what happened to Maura.
And that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep searching.